from in front of Sumaya, there, Sumaya Museum. But we just left Museo Jumex, which is over there. Um, I unofficially call this like the West Side Arts Complex. I feel like it should have a name.
That's not a bad name, given like
We're on the West Side,
and there's at least these two very popular museums right across the street from each other.
and then over here is the Telcel Theater. See that? Over there is the Telcel Theater where Lion King is playing. I didn't know that was the Telcel Mall until the other day.
Oh,
The one right there.
I mean, it makes sense.
It makes sense. And because of this.
Yes.
And the aquarium is right behind us. Okay, so if you don't, what we're saying, hi friends watching. If you're watching this now, if you're watching this live, yes, we are outside today. The same person who owns
Telcel.
or still owns,
I think he still owns Telcel.
still owns Telcel, which is the cell phone provider and internet provider, Telmex, and some other providers in town. Started this museum behind us, that silver building that you see all over the place. And the bank he owns runs the aquarium that's right behind us. And the mall right there is named after his company.
And if that's not a corporate headquarters right there, it is at least a large building that they hold naming rights.
So, Carlos don't put his name around the block around here. So, anyway, we just left Museo Jumex because there was an exhibit there on our girl, Tina Modotti. We'll tell you why she's our girl in a minute. But that's not the first thing we saw.
Okay.
Adelia took me to an exhibit first.
What Rashida is not giving you context on is, okay, Mexico City is a city of museums. There are somewhere between, wow, that is close. There are somewhere between 150 and 200 museums in the city, okay? And there are museums on all kind of stuff like Mexican sugar skulls, there's a shoe museum, everything. Like this museum where we're sitting next to, Sumaya, this is Carlos Slim's museum of just showing his personal collection.
One of two, there are two
One
Sumayas.
or two that just house his personal collection.
That man rich. Anyway.
Okay, now the museum we went to today, Jumex, is...
Let's talk about the history here.
Okay, what is it? It is not modern art. It's, what do you call the super weird art? Because that's why you go to Jumex, is because you want to see some weird shit. What is not contemporary art? Is it modern?
I think
can't
it's modern.
remember.
I always think of it as modern art.
Okay.
But first, let's talk. Museo Jumex is named for the Jumex Foundation, who runs it, which is owned by the family who owns the biggest juice company. Like, this is just a money block. It's the juice people built a museum and named it after their juice.
Yes.
Any hoodle. So 150 choices, Adelia's told you. We have over 150 choices. Let me tell you where she took me today.
Why are we trying to act like this was a
Your
plot?
idea?
A plot. Yes, it was my idea. But oh no, hold up, because you're on the Jumex mailing list, and you sent me a thing and said, hey, they're gonna have an exhibit on Tina Modotti. Now that was months ago.
I have months ago. It don't count. I don't remember doing that.
That was months ago.
I don't remember doing that.
And me being who I am, I don't have to be the only person in frame.
I just don't know why you won't take the blame.
But me being who I am, I was like, hey, we don't want to miss that exhibit on Tina Modotti because she's our girl. And so I looked it up and saw that, oh, it was running now, and was like, hey, would you still want to hit this up?
Let's start at the top, because they take you to the top. We went to the 3rd floor, and she showed me some freaky,
it was some weird shit.
She showed me some freaky, deaky, wasn't ready for it shit. We walk in, and there's a banging behind us. It's a video of a man beating up a dummy of himself.
That looks like him.
Wearing the exact same clothes he's wearing at the time. I take off my jacket. Hold on.
Okay. And so he's beating it, and there's stuff that looks like blood and guts
coming out like a pinata.
That's like the first
So we turn a corner. We turn the corner from him, a video of him beating himself up. And I look at something. The first thing we see is like an art thing made out of butterfly wings. Okay, okay. I turned a corner and I was like, Adelia, that's hair. She was like, what? I
Okay,
said,
wait. You're not giving them context because it was a portrait. It looked from a distance, it looked like a drawing.
I said, that's hair. I said, that's hair. And then I walked up and they said, it's a drawing. And I was like, oh, I guess it's not hair. And then I read the description.
And it was a drawing of his father,
yes,
composed of hair from his exhumed body.
From his father. He got his father dug up out the ground and then used his father's hair to make a drawing of his father. Baby, the way I almost tapped out on like art piece number 4.
And that entire 3rd floor was an exhibit from this man. And not only were there multiple items that used hair, some from his dead sister, who apparently was also exhumed.
So he could do a CT scan and make a 3D
Oh
model
yeah,
of her
that
skull.
was a separate
piece.
A separate piece.
17 members of the family just a skull.
And 2 of them were dead. They like 3D printed their skulls
after exhuming them. I'm hoping it was the same trip. I'm hoping he only exhumed his father by one time and got the hair and the CT scan at the same time, and it wasn't like, I'm gonna keep going. Daddy, I need a little piece of you.
So that was the first exhibit. There were other body fluids involved. Again, Jumex is where you come if you want to see some weird shit, and they delivered today with weird shit.
We saw so much shit there, but so much stuff, but I was like, I know that in one of these art pieces, my spidey sense is telling me that in one of these art pieces, this man put a semen in there. I just know it. And what do you say? Come on.
I said that it very much gave the feel of like people don't realize what they're looking at while they're looking at, like that's part of his
It's like
gimmick.
the trickery of you don't know what you're looking at. Why are you making art pieces out of your blood? Other people's hair. There's so much other people's hair in there.
That it was dead people's hair. Not all of it, but there was a piece there with dead people's hair. Again, that is not the exhibit we came to see.
We came to see our girl Tina. Now we say our girl Tina because anywhere you go in town, if there's an exhibit about things that happened in the 20s in Mexico City,
in the 30s,
even going into the 40s, you're going to see Tina's name. Tina, I'm not going to call her a thought.
But she was outside.
She was the most outside for all the inside girls. For all the inside girls. Tina rep the streets. She was outside. I first learned of Tina when I went to an exhibit and I was like, is that a drawing of a woman shooting her lover? Yes, it was. Because every time anyone talks about Tina's story, it always starts with, well, she was accused of murdering her partner.
Now it's just clicking. Was that cartoon supposed to be the Cuban guy?
I think so. No, the Cuban guy was
no, because the cartoon was about somebody who like mistreated her. That
I think that was the boyfriend.
Well, it could have been because she was linked to a Cuban separatist, communist. I don't know.
Was that Vittorio or was that the dead guy?
The dead guy.
Okay, so any hoodle, Tina got accused of a lot of murder.
She even got accused of being part of an assassination plot of the president of Mexico.
I don't even think she knew that man. They were just like, somebody died. Where was Tina? If you can't tell me where Tina was, Tina did it. We went to the house of the guy who designed the Angel of Independence in the city. They got photos of Tina because he was hot and popping in the 20s and 30s.
And Tina was there.
Tina was at the house. If you were doing anything, Tina was there. We left a confusing exhibit, but the exhibit said, you got to be in this one too. The exhibit said that this one guy, this is why we're very confused, this one guy was the beginning and the end of Tina's life. accused of 2 murders by this time. She had already been in exile. She left Italy, came to the U.S., was in Mexico, got exiled,
Got deported from Mexico, had to go back to Europe.
had to go to Europe, was in Russia and Germany.
Before she eventually came back to Mexico where she died.
See, how you tell me that this man is the beginning of my life? I already got 2 murders under my belt. Anywho, she's a very interesting lady.
And I don't know, I just feel like Mexican history is full of like these interesting characters,
Yes.
like Tina Modotti, everybody knows Frida Kahlo, Nahui Olin, like all of these folks.
If you like getting history from a museum, anytime you're in a museum in Mexico City, if the artwork touches the 10s, the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, it's gonna be like, yeah, well, they were communists, and they might have had somebody killed or killed them themselves. The first time I saw some Siqueiros art, and they were like, well, you know, he was running and gunning, and I was like, what do we? Who did you say he tried to kill? Like, what? It's very interesting that art and politics were so intertwined, so
Very
deeply
much
intertwined
so.
there,
Very much so.
and also murder or attempted murder.
Yeah.
There's
Quite a few artists.
Because Tina was an artist as well. Quite a few artists were like, what if I paint and like splatter a little bit? It was very, very confusing. So, yeah, Tina is an interesting person to look up.
We saw the next level had a different exhibit, but it was not memorable.
I don't
At
remember
all.
at all. Oh,
It
it was different pieces. Jumex be like, what if I hang the skull of a lamb from the roof, but I paint it orange, and I give you no context?
That low key, that sums up Museo Jumex very, very well.
What if there's no context? The exhibit will be available until February 16th or 6th?
16th, I think.
16th.
So it goes into February.
Yeah. Usually if I go to Jumex, I also go to Sumaya, but I'm hungry right now, so I don't know. And Sumaya has more of a...
There's a lot of religious art, and he's got some historical things in there too.
I just don't think it rotates as much as Jumex does, so you don't have to see it every time. But this was a good art day.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to see, this was another, because the way the exhibit on Tina was laid out, it wasn't just, here's her life in chronological order. It was pulling art from different people, various mediums. Some stuff in there we did not understand at all, and they didn't give us context on. So it was an interesting way for them to curate it, I thought.
One of her men's, not one she killed. I don't really think Tina killed anybody. I think now, pause. She used to also be an actress, and everybody's talking about how hot. Tina was the hot girl. Tina was the hot girl. These people were throwing themselves at her feet. We just saw photos of her when they were reenacting the murder. The government made her reenact the murder, and Tina was the homeliest.
She looked so dowdy because we were like, this says that's Tina. That can't be Tina.
Hot girl Tina? Hot girl Tina.
And she was not looking hot girl.
Not
right
warm.
there.
She was not looking warm, y'all. Anyhow, what was I saying? Anytime you see her, you'll see her all around the city because everywhere there's art. There's her. Oh, one of the pieces inside, her husband, her second husband, because she had one husband, and she left him for a photographer named Weston, right? Or did she leave Weston for somebody else?
I think she
was married to somebody else, and she had the riz like Cleopatra. Yes.
Oh, definitely.
Yes. So she was married to one guy, then she left him for Edward Weston. There's a photo, in this exhibit, there's a photo that Weston took of a toilet, just like the front and lower side of the toilet. And so on top of a mini fridge, and ain't say shit else about it except this relates to that. Like this photo of the toilet relates
We
to
couldn't
the
make
art
sense of that.
piece, the art toilet on the mini fridge. What are we doing? I was like,
Again,
what?
Jumex is gonna be on some weird shit.
Blood in the art.
It is always gonna be on some
It-
weird shit. Now we've got the Anthropology Museum, we've got modern history, we've got, tons of museums that have like murals of like the most prominent Mexican artists.
Yes.
But Jumex be on some weird shit.
Very often, if you're in the neighborhood, it's definitely in Polanco. It's definitely worth adding to your list. You can run; it's free, and
It's
you can
free.
run through it in like 10 minutes if you want to move quickly. You're just not gonna understand anything because nothing on its face makes sense.
Nothing.
No, they'd be like, "Who needs context?"
And we should also say Sumaya is also free.
Yes. So don't come on Sundays because the line be out the door. So right now, Samaya's behind us. You can see there's no line. When on a Sunday, the line comes all the way down, around, and goes. I don't come on Sundays for that reason.
I wouldn't go to any museum on a Sunday here.
No. Okay, so what museum would you tell someone if you only had one museum to go to? Well, two museums, top two. What would your two museums be?
Arte Popular, which is in Centro Histórico, that I think is the quintessential Mexican culture museum.
Uh-huh.
And I would say Palacio Nacional. It is Arte Popular is not free. Palacio Nacional is free. However, in the last few years, actually getting in has been tricky because who knows when the hell they open. But
It's a mystery.
those are probably the two that because everybody's gonna tell you go to anthropology. But those are my top two.
Okay. So I was going to say Arte Popular, but I was also going to say anthropology because everybody says go to anthropology because it's a really amazing museum.
It is, but here's the thing: most people don't give themselves enough
Time.
time.
No. Okay, so anthropology is a museum that you have to decide. I'm only going to be here for 2 hours and whatever, or 3 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours, whatever I see, I'm going to see. People get upset with it because they want to go for 3 hours to see everything.
And you can't. Absolutely. I think you need maybe 2 days.
I think 2 to 3 days if you read everything. Yeah, we're outside, so I wouldn't be surprised if the volume is low. Sorry, hello, happy English.
That may be something you can edit in post.
Maybe, if we can edit anything in post. The other thing I would think about is, so I'm going to say anthropology, and I just had it, the education department.
Okay. I would go tell nobody about that one. But
She
that was gonna
gatekeep
be,
it out here.
I gatekeep that one. That is one of my favorites. But yeah, I low-key gatekeep that one.
Y'all know I actually don't go to it. It's not easy to find. It's not in a part of town you'll naturally be in.
No.
Most people don't ever go to it.
Mexico. Gracias.
You heard that accent. She don't live here. She don't. That is not a woman who
In
lives
case y'all
here.
didn't catch it, a lady walked by, and I guess she heard us speaking English and talking to the phone, and was like, "Welcome to Mexico." And we did what we always do when people do that, because we're thinking, but we live here.
She lives in the U.S. That accent was, and she said, "Oh, when I stared at her, she was like, oh, I'm Mexican," and I'm like, "But we live here. You don't." That accent says you don't live here.
But said thank you and kept it moving.
I didn't say nothing. I just stared at her because
I
I was confusion of what was happening.
Because low key, when people start to talk to us in English, I'm like, what do you do?
Welcome to Mexico.
But we were talking about the My Secret Museum that you have shared.
I didn't realize it. You got to tell me it was a secret, girl. So yes, don't ask again what it is because I can't tell it again because it's Adelia's secret. And that is.
But if you are a big Diego Rivera fan, you can probably do the work to find it.
But if you're a big Diego Rivera fan, we don't have to tell you about it because you would have already known about it. Okay, so anything else as far as museums? We've both given our two. We told them to visit. Um, what's one? Is there one that you don't think is worth it? Mine is Munal.
Okay,
Child.
this is the National Art Museum. Munal, the building is gorgeous,
Stunning. She has class. She has taste.
but unless there is a specific um, exhibit there, I'm probably not going to Munal. I'm trying to think of a museum that I'm like, ugh. I know I have one, but it is not coming to mind right now.
While you think of that, I'm gonna tell you, Munal. The reason I don't go is Munal be like, look at this religious art from New Spain.
Yes.
Every single piece in there is religious art from New Mexico, but they still calling it New Spain, and it's Christ on a cross. Christ on a cross made in New Spain. Every single piece. Oh, there go Mary. Oh, here comes some, I don't know, crusaders crusading. It's all from New Spain.
I know which one I would say. The perfume museum. Oh, that was a huge disappointment.
We were walking
Underwhelming,
around looking at each other like,
underwhelming.
do you see what we see? Do you see what we see? It was not it was not good, and it's very popular, and that's confusing to us because we don't expect the same things from museums. We're not looking for the same thing. So when we see something, a lot of things we'll agree on the museum, but not for the same reasons.
But no, I'd never go there again.
That's it. All right, I think that might be our take on museums, and our time for the day. All right, y'all, this is Vlogmas Day 16 in the books. I will see you guys tomorrow with more shenanigans. Thank you for coming by. Wait, every time I was there, I tried to get the Biblioteca Vasconcelos 3 times, it's closed every time. Vasconcelos is overrated.
It's also not a museum, it's a literal library. So, and I mean, public buildings in this city open when they open. Just like I said about Palacio Nacional. It's supposed to be open 5 days a week, 6 days a week. Last time we tried to go, they were like, come on Friday. We showed up at Friday and they were like, not today.
I also tried, there was a protest going on down there, and they were like, inside our building while there are people outside? There's always people outside. There's always people outside. Anyhow, Dara don't listen. Dara don't learn. She says, I still might go to the perfume museum just because I love me some perfumes. I can't understand why you'd create one and it would be bad. Now, you not being able to understand why someone would create one and it would be bad does not mean that someone didn't create it, and it's not it's terrible. It seems like it was sponsored by a perfume company, and there are a few antique pieces, and then there's some like old bottles, and the sniffer part of it wasn't good.
I think you will be very unimpressed.
I think it's the worst museum I've been to in town.
And I've been to the shoe museum, which is not great, but it is free.
They did that because people pay money to see it, right? That was not a free museum.
Yeah.
People pay money, and that's why you would open a museum and not care if it's good or not. People don't pay money anyway. All right, y'all, we're getting out of here.
Bye.
Talk to you later. Bye.